Welcome back to the Greasy Alpha Podcast, episode 9. And this is just me. This is my attempt at doing the dreaded solo podcast. I don't know why people do this. I don't know. Like, very few people do it well. So I don't know who I'm kidding, thinking I'm going to make a difference, but we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see what happens. Sunglasses. I get why. I see like Theo and Tim, they do these types of podcasts. They always have sunglasses on. I couldn't imagine not. I'm looking at nobody right now. This is so weird. I do feel like I'm recording that speech that you give like before you die, when you record like a video and you're like, to my family, I loved you and I cheated on your mother a lot. Like whatever they say, and that's what I feel like I'm giving right now. So that's kind of interesting, but we're going to do our best as always doing our best. I'm at my parents' house and there's so much white in this room. There's too white. So I found this nutcracker. He's giving us some support, and I got this Thor's hammer. So ambiance, check. Sunglasses, check. Things to talk about. We're going to work on that. I have stuff I'll talk about. Who knows if it's important? If it's important to you, it's important. If it's important to me, it's important. But maybe in the future, what I would add for my like 4 people that listen, just write a question, put it in the comments, DM me. This could kind of become like a mailbag type of situation. That'd be great. But for now, since I'm pretty much the only fan, hey, I have the questions and the topics. So thinking about the moon a lot lately, right? So we have everyone's outside right now watching the solar eclipse. It was yesterday. I lied. Today's the 9th. It was yesterday. I don't know why we're so fascinated by this. It's cool. It must have been end of worldly in like caveman days. Like that had to, before they knew why that was happening. I still don't know why, but before they knew why, imagine a caveman at like 11 a.m. just seeing the sun disappear. I mean, maybe that's how you find Jesus. Before Jesus was a thing, the cavemen were just like, it's got to be something else. This is crazy what's going on up there. Or maybe they didn't even think that much. They probably thought it was a huge bird. That's all. Like, I mean, I think they had big birds back in the caveman days, so they probably were like, "What's that huge bird doing, flying over me and blocking the sun right now?" But they didn't have the competence or the competency to think of like it's like a UFO. Like some people like, oh, maybe it's like the Death Star, kind of like the Death Star. You know when that happens from Star Wars? They didn't. They probably space aliens for a caveman, UFOs. That could not have been a thought ever. Like old cavemen's young caveman kids might have been telling them about that. Like they're millennial caveman kids probably started to think about it. Like, you're crazy. Just, we got the wheel. Everything's good. Stop pushing so hard, you know? I kind of wish they stopped at the wheel, but here we are now. I just found out too, the moon is getting its own time zone. So good for the moon. That's cool. Moon time. Here's a good one for people. I hope it's just like an hour different from Eastern time. Because anytime you're late to something and you live in Eastern time zone, you can just say, I thought we were talking Central. So if the moon could play into that somehow, be an hour ahead or behind of Eastern, that'd be so great to be late because you work off of moon time. And yeah, a lot of clarifying questions for me are going to be, is that Eastern or moon? It'd just be better to live off of moon time. I mean, we already kind of do. So it's got its own time zone, which I think is respectful. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good idea. I'm surprised we didn't think about this sooner. So good for the moon. Shout out the moon. We're doing a lot with the moon. I know we're sending stuff there again. People trying to get back there. I don't know. It's not that exciting anymore. I just what is it, dude? What are we doing there? So we're just hanging out. I want us to start building stuff. I want a McDonald's on the moon tomorrow. I want corporate America just to plaster the moon, and one day I can say the moon's not like it was when I was a kid. You know, I want a McDonald's. I want a Starbucks. I'll take bus stops too. Definitely some bus stops. It's like a moon bus. Moon bus, cool. With a McDonald's and a Starbucks. That's it to start. I mean, that's kind of all we need. Maybe like a fresh market on the moon. Kind of set when you think about it. I mean, you need a place to live, but I mean, you could probably need a spaceship or something for that. But I mean, either way, moons stuff's happening. If we really want to use the space well, we're gonna have to start thinking about maybe putting funeral homes on the moon, because how much space do we really have like down here to do that? I mean, eventually it's like trying to build up, you know? So maybe moon funeral homes. I mean, if anyone's got a moon guy, I'd be interested in that. I'd probably put everything I have into a moon funeral home. I mean, that's got to be a $100,000 funeral. Some maybe more. We can't just get there, so we have to wait till we can get there. But the first business I'm opening up on the moon is a funeral home. It's going to be in between the Starbucks, the McDonald's, the Fresh Market. It'd be a bus route to that, and people would pay big dollars to say they're buried on the moon. I mean, no one could visit you, probably. Well, maybe, who knows? Maybe they could, because we're just going there so much. But Neil Armstrong's the first person to walk on the moon. Is there a chance I could be the first person to be buried on the moon? And if they buried me on the moon, I wouldn't even need like a formal situation. They could just launch me out into the orbit, precision strike wherever they want. I don't care. Just enough to like breach the surface and have me under the ground. I don't really want to be sitting there, because then that's just like cluttery. We don't want to clutter the moon with caskets. But I mean, if you know a moon guy, let me know, because I'm thinking about getting that type of stuff worked out here soon. So would love to do it on the moon. The other thing, or just launching caskets into space. I mean, that's just trying to think of cool businesses, and we got so much going on with the moon and all this. I just think space. If Elon, every satellite he sends up, if he could just tie a casket to the outside of the ship and just launch it towards Jupiter, like, that's pretty crazy too. You can never visit them, but it could just be tracked. You could be like, let's see where grandma's at. It's like, oh, she's somewhere between Mars and Jupiter right now. That's cool. But if we get out of hand with it and there's just tons of caskets flying through space, I mean, I think the aliens would start to get frustrated by that. We're already littering our atmosphere with satellites, and next thing you know, there's a traffic jam of caskets just flying through the Milky Way galaxy. Like, these people have gotten way out of hand. Someone paid for that. It's crazy. All right. Well, I mean, listen, I could talk about the moon all day, but let's move on to something else. I watched the new Roadhouse movie, the one with Gyllenhaal. Conor McGregor's in it. Conor McGregor's character, first off, is weird in it. I don't know. It's just, I don't really understand him. He was just an angry fighter, which I get how that was wanted from him. So, but maybe, I don't, it was crazy. He honestly terrified me. Like, if that guy lived in my town, I would move out of that town. Like, he was like a psychopath in the movie. But yeah, it was okay. I think the crazy thing about Roadhouse to like imagine is whoever wrote the first one must have had a bar or like had an experience where like people were fighting so aggressively in bars all the time. They're like, man, I wish I just had some dude to come here and fix all this. And where in the hell in society, like today's society too, or back then, either way, are these bars where people are just knocking each other out nightly, multiple times, smashing bottles, breaking chairs, and then leaving with like nothing to show for it, zero accountability? Does that still exist? Like, is this just a movie? I know it's just a movie, Tony, but is it just a movie, or does this exist? I mean, if you're out there and you're watching this, and you probably are, I need a real life Roadhouse story. Like, I want to find somebody who has this situation. Like, I'm not the guy for it, but I'll put it together. Like, we want a John Taffert more style than Roadhouse. He goes in there, he kicks ass. I would rather a guy like Taffert who goes in there and just yells endlessly and belittles people. I'd love for him to be rude to the fighters, because Gyllenhaal, he's very polite about it. He's like, oh, the hospital is 25 minutes away. But Taffert would just like ruin their soul. Be like, this is because your dad didn't love you. You know, like, fight them, break them down internally, and then maybe they'll stop. I mean, Gyllenhaal was just too nice. They just kept coming back. You're like, no one, that nice guy's not going to be mean to me. Oh, he was. So I think we need a little bit of Taffert, some anger from the antagonist in the movie. I need the antagonist anger to match the protagonist's anger, and it's just not there. Otherwise, it's an okay movie. You know, it's a movie. It's it's got its moments. I'd say watch it, especially if you saw the first one. It's not like the first one's like a remarkable movie. It's an entertaining kind of cheesy action movie. So this followed suit. It had some moments where you're like, that can't happen. But I mean, give it a look-see. Give it a look. In the spirit of it being the beginning of baseball season, I have to share a story I heard about a baseball player named Ray Caldwell, who was struck by lightning in the 9th inning of a baseball game that he was pitching in. This was in 1919, August 24th. And he goes down to the ground for 5 minutes. They said he was like unconscious. 2 outs, by the way. And he wakes up after 5 minutes and finishes the game, like pitches and gets another out. The fact that this guy doesn't have 50 motivational books is outrageous. That is nuts. That is nuts to get struck by lightning and get up and do anything. He went through a baseball and struck a guy out, or got a guy out. If I get struck by lightning, I'm not doing anything for like a week. I probably just sit right in that spot and not get up for a long time. This guy's just throwing. I mean, it didn't say what happened shortly after. I mean, I should probably find out that part of the story. I hope he didn't end up having like a serious problem. He was just working off adrenaline kind of thing, but or maybe lightning therapy is the next therapy. You know, people are dunking themselves in cold water. I mean, maybe there's a way we can get some lightning, fake lightning, to like strike like a cage, and you stand in the cage where the lightning strikes it and you get lightning energy. I don't know. Probably shouldn't try that. Definitely don't try that. I'm telling you, do not try to get struck by lightning. But if someone has the money and the ability to do the research, we should see if lightning therapy is a thing that you can do, because we could then make it small. We could have it at home. You can have a little like lightning device that you like just strike yourself. Maybe that's a little crazy, but so is the computer at some point. Oh, you think the iPhone just made sense right away? So before you knock my lightning therapy idea, just remember, something you used today was something someone got made fun of so bad for that they probably lost friends. That's how bad they got made fun of for their idea. Even the car, even the wheel, the caveman. The first caveman to talk about the wheel, they're like, never gonna happen. You know, like, you're a loser. What's wrong with it being square? Nothing. It works just fine. So, lightning therapy may be a thing. And I promised I was going to keep these short. I couldn't talk for an hour. I could. I don't think it'd be good, but I could. But now I'm going to try to wrap up at like 20 minutes. What are we at, like 15? All right. So let's think about it. Now that's a perfect place for an ad. If I had a sponsor, would love a sponsor. I'd pay them. The Powerball's like over $1 billion right now. And I always hate the downers about the lottery. Lottery downers are just not okay. Like, for $2, I get about 24 hours, sometimes like 12 hours of fantasy time to dream about what I would do with a post-tax $500 million from the lottery. Just let me dream. I don't care what I should be doing with that $2 otherwise. I want the fantasy of, where am I going? What friends am I hooking up? Like, who am I hiring for security? What's the first car I get? Like, driving through Starbucks and being like, I'm paying for everyone. Like, there would be some blowing of that. And it'd be fun. I like to dream. It's great. I'm doing it right now. If you just live life every day thinking like, work hard, earn my paycheck, get a promotion, that's fine. That's accurate. That's probably normal. But get yourself a little bit of little action going. Get something to get your blood flowing about what if, you know, because I think it inspires you too. Like, I realize I'm not going to win. I'm still inspired. And sometimes I come up with good ideas when I'm thinking about potentially becoming half a billionaire overnight. And then people are like, it's never going to happen. The odds are out of your favor. I don't care. I like that it's hard. Because if everyone was winning it, then we'd all have too much money. And we'd have to build more stuff. We'd have to build like 100 Disney Worlds in Florida if people just were winning the Powerball all the time. Because people would have nothing to do. Let's just go to the Disney all day. Tons and tons of people at Disney. Yeah, it just wouldn't work out. So I know it's hard. I don't mind that. I do kind of mind people. Yeah, but I just mind people trying to shoot down my dreams and say, yeah, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. Well, get a better imagination. Like, it's fun to imagine excessive wealth. It is a lot of fun to think about that, because I don't really have any plans of getting there otherwise. So I'd hate to live my whole life being like, man, I never even dreamed about what it would be like to be stupid wealthy right now. So for $2, I get that. Think like, people are getting VR stuff now for experiences that they're not actually experiencing, and they're paying way more. You could pay $2 for a lottery ticket and get the experience of thinking about being half a billionaire, or pay too much money for a VR device. It's going to rot your brain and your experience is going to suck. It's something you could have done. You're going to like go to Costa Rica in VR. It's like, just, you could have gotten the plane. Now, if you're disabled, you can't fly, that's fine. You're old. I get it. But if you're perfectly able and you're going to like Costa Rica in VR, go to Costa Rica in regular. Just do that. Or pay $2 and play the Powerball. These are our options, folks. Because becoming a billionaire is not an option. It's just something, you get something you just get lucky for. It just happens. It happens, but some people earn it. I know a lot of people earn it. So I don't mean to shoot down billionaires. I love them. I know a lot of billionaires. They're great. But I think I'd be a better one. I think I'd be one of the best billionaires of all time. And so we'll see. I'm playing the Powerball. Hits tomorrow. We'll see if I'm a winner. I'm still doing this podcast if I win. Hope you know, like, studio will be a little bit better. There will be signs. I'll probably be doing this this podcast from the moon, in Tony's moon studio, recorded live, episode 15 of Greasy Alpha. Because I would do a couple other ones first, but then I'd go to the moon. That's enough. I said 20 to 30, and I'm there. So if you stuck around and you watched this and you were like, he's not doing bad, let me know. Comment it or like this or do something. And also don't forget to like send me questions, send me things you want me to bullshit about. I'll do my best. I promise I'll do my best. It's not always going to be good, but I can do my best. And we'll see what happens next time. In the meantime, just be careful looking at the sun and stay greasy. We'll see you.